was asking to create some kind of some recess in the curved wall and having the fillet radius as well, not just as a square, corner shaped recess. So I was just trying to explore that. Is it there?
No, he's not there. You will check the recording later.
Okay. One more picture was there. I was just trying to find out that picture. Maybe this, just take this. If, for example, if this is a recess in a curved wall, so this is something I have created. But there is a trick to create such kind of the recess because in a curved wall, you cannot have a surface-based family as we have a surface-based family for the flat surface, right? So there is a trick for that. I would show you an example. It's a combination of two or three solids and voids, then only you can achieve that geometry. For example, so you see this is a wall. Is it visible? This is a normal wall, okay, curved wall. And if I want to have a recess like this, so I have to draw my profile, my void in elevation as well as the curvature in the plan. So there are two things which I need to draw. First, let us make this as a solid. This is a solid. And then for the curvature, because this solid is going beyond the curvature, so this can create a puncture through and through. But we just don't want to have a through void. We just want to have a recess with some depth. So for that reason, if you check the site plan, you see there is another solid I have created till the middle of this wall. Okay. So I will just take you back to the 3D view. This is an in-place family. I'm just going to edit that. So, hi, Juji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I was just trying to explain that how this can be achieved. Okay, this kind of recess in a curved wall. It's having the fillet radius as well at the corners, right? You were asking. So there is a trick for that. I'm just trying to explain that. This is a curved wall. So we have to draw this in elevation, this recess profile in the elevation and take it beyond. But since we don't want to have the void through void, we want to have a specific thickness, some depth of the recess, but not as a through void. So for that reason, I have to create another solid, maybe that we can convert as a void. If you check this in place family, I have created the other solid to make a combination of this one and this two to till the half of the width of the wall. And then what I will do, this one I will convert as a void. This is a void. So you see this can be like this. So if you just check it in the wireframe, this is actually up to the middle of the wall, right? This is a solid. And I cannot make both of them as a void because if I make this void, this cannot be cut because once it is cut, it cannot be converted as a void. So we'll have to make this as a solid only. And then finish. Now, if you try to cut this or maybe join, so this will not allow you to cut anything like this. Or maybe if you want to join this with this, so even if you hide this, it is not creating any puncture. So this is the downside. So for that reason, in that case, a specific situation, we have to make this wall as an in-place wall. Then it will solve the purpose. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me just take you to the default 3D view. There are many other things as well. Not this one. Okay. Also, This is an in-place wall. You see, this is a wall, solid extrusion. In the wall category, I have made this wall. The same material texture I have given to this wall. This is one in-place family, and this is the other family. The other one, if I select, so it is not allowing me to select anything. Can you see there's nothing to be selected? There is a trick for that also. I have made a subcategory for this. This was actually made in wall category. However, this void I have created in a generic model category. But if you see, you will be surprised that generic model is turned on. Still, that is not it is not bothering you to be in between. You need not to manually hide that, maybe with the help of the invisible workset or something like that. So there's another thing, as you know, we can create this subcategory. So in the generic model, I have created a subcategory of not used. If I turn it on, you see this solid. Okay, this is the same arrangement there. The solid has been subtracted with a void there, same kind of void. Once this becomes a solid, this solid can be subtracted with an in-place mass or in-place solid. So this has been subtracted, but then the question was that how to turn it off, because if you delete this, you will lose this void. So you have to hide this. This is in generic model. I have created a subcategory. This is a generic model. And if you go there, select the solid. This has been kept in subcategory, not used. And then specifically in the view, in all the views, all the view templates, you can turn this subcategory, not used, as turned off. So this will go off and you will have your recess in the wall. So in any shape of the curved wall, you can play with the combination of solids and voids and then make the fun happen. If you have any question in this, you want to see that if there is any clarity required to how to make this subcategory in any category, so I can explain that. Otherwise, I think this is done.
Yeah, I need to.
Hmm?
I want to again to know. Repeat, please. Repeat, please. He's asking how to create subcategory.
How to create this subcategory? This is what you want to know, right?
This affecting the quantity?
Definitely.
Definitely.
What?
Why not? Let me just check the quantity for okay. Just for a check. This is the material is brick common, I think, right? The material is brick common. Let us just check the schedule. Material takeoff. Material takeoff. So this has already been cut. Okay. Brick common. This is brick common. I just want to filter out. Want to sort
Put a
them.
formula of hardship if it's not giving.
No, it will give actually. It will give.
Okay.
It should give it. It should give. Let me just check which area is giving. Which wall is there? This is one wall and this is the other wall. This should be the same, yes. This is the in place one. Yes. This is
Subtraction हो गया ना ये ऊपर वाला 20 और नीचे 23
yeah, this can be seen 24.38 and this is 23.64. Still, I will show you once more. Just want to Just want to change the unit from meters to, or maybe just take millimeters, okay, so that it will be much clear for us. Where is millimeters? Cubic millimeters, right? Or just change the decimal places to the 3 decimal places. This was 24.375. I'll show you once more. I will remove that recess, and then the second one we can check. It will come back to 24.375. If I remove that, just go to the 3D view, turn this on. I'm going to remove this. Check the quantity. This is 24.372. And once I take it back, this is 23.635. So this is clear.
So it's
But
showing
I'm sure that
both
in Revit, if you are cutting anything, it will definitely take the quantity off. So now it is about how to create the subcategory under every category. It is maybe I have explained in one.
Last time you have explained in the family, but still you can again do it.
Okay, it was explained to the structure team, not to the architecture team, right? It was for the portal
I
frame
don't
family. Yeah, portal frame family, you remember that was explained to the structure team.
No
Yeah,
problem. You can.
Okay. So if you want to, for example, this is not going to be a work shared file. No, you don't want to control the visibility with the help of the work set. Still, you want to control. And if this is having any category generic model, you cannot turn this off. Either you can turn it off with the help of the filter, or there's another way. You can create a subcategory. Go to the object styles, either from the from the ribbon or from the VG dialog. There's a generic model. There's an object style, and you just select the category which you want to create the subcategory. Just select the generic model and create new. So now you are creating a subcategory under generic model. I'm going to create one more, which can be named as recess. You see recess is there, and you can control the line weight, color, and then the pattern as well. So this is done. The recess is created. Now, if I pick any solid, for example, this has been set to not used. Now I'm going to keep this in recess. Okay. And I just need to go to the visibility graphics. Just check the generic model, expand it. You will find that recess there. You can turn it off. So it will go off. That's the way you can create a subcategory. So not only this particular or specific thing, but you can create many things with the combination of. You have to just apply your common sense that how can you create?
Whenever we are creating, sorry. So whenever
one question. Suppose the recess we have in multiple areas, so we have to do the same.
You can group it. You can group it and then place it everywhere and then subtract it everywhere.
It depends upon how you want to use any void or any group or anything. It depends how many instances you want to use it, or you want to hide it anywhere, or you don't want to hide. Then you can individually do it. Or if you want to have it collectively, you can have collectively also. When Kashi was telling about the subcategories, I remember that whenever we are creating families, nested families, we can use this subcategory for. You say sometimes we make a family and then it is visible on ground floor or the first floor or something, like in documentation, some line weights are happening. So you can create, if you want to hide anything, you can hide it with the help of this subcategory when you are creating the families also. So if you want to see something on the ground floor and you don't want to see it on, you can create that. Okay. Sorry, continue, Kasha. Sorry.
Okay, sir. So I just want to check whether this strategy, this method is clear to everyone. And I believe we can create any type of recess or openings in the curved surfaces. So is there any question?
You said it will work in place. This is in place wall, you said something.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Only
in
in
place
place
only, in place you can cut the solid with solid, otherwise it is not cutting the wall. If you are using a solid, you cannot cut this. If this would have been a void, then it will definitely cut, but it is not cutting the solid. So in that case, this wall needs to be an in-place wall if you want any specific recess on the surface.
Yeah, because everywhere you don't have recesses. Wherever you have recesses or something like that in the design, there you can create in-place families.
Yeah, exceptionally it is required.
You understood the subcategory? Yes. Okay.
So shall I move to the next point?
Yeah.
Okay, next is I just go to the picture. Just wanted to check which thing is actually meant to be explained in this picture. I was just trying to replicate this. What is need to be explained in this picture, whether this tower or this canopy above?
canopy.
Canopy. So this is again nothing but an in-place family, or maybe you can make a loadable family as well. The way, the strategy of making this kind of spikes is very simple, which I have simplified. I've tried to simplify it, but this can be of any shape. You can just make anything and twist it the way as per your design. But the canopy at the top, just wanted to show you that how it is being created. I have just created one spike and then array. And okay, that's okay, because this arc is having more leg than this one. So you can create the bigger one and then subtract the rest of one with the help of a void. That's what I did it here. If you select this geometry, you can see there's a void on the outer periphery. Can you see this void? So there's a void,
Yes.
and then you can just pick them and then subtract every time, whichever is going protruding outside this peripheral frame. And there's nothing. This is I have just created in the in place. This can also be made in loadable family. Just make a solid and then create anything like this. Just need to create any one and then just array. Yes, array for array. If you select this one and you array 360-degree, it will not work. I agree. So you just do it in two ways. Because here also I did it from one place to here, 180-degree, and then place it, select it, and repeat it on the other side. This is how I achieved it. If you want me to repeat and then how this was created, I can, but I think there are many other things to be discussed and explained. You have many questions in the book. But if you want, I can explain
No,
this
see,
from.
actually, why we are checking, we are also doing same method, but if this one correct method or not like that, we check.
So from your perspective, the method which you are adopting, maybe this is the same method I am telling you. So what is wrong with that
Yes.
method? If there is nothing wrong, then why
No.
we are doubting over?
No. We are asking just any other method or something
There
like
can
that.
be
Yes,
Doji, I just want to
Or
mention
something.
I just want to mention one thing here. Especially for creating the solids and for geometries, there can be number of ways. Some people adopt some different strategy, maybe with the help of some adaptive points. This can also be done with the help of different ways. But the way we are using, if it is falling on the right category, and as far as it is not harming the project size, and then it is not exponentially increasing my file size, it is not creating any errors, so there is nothing wrong. We can just copy and place it multiple times. We can just make it a group, so that if it is working fine, I don't find any problem. If the same strategies you are adopting in your models, I would say this is good. But for an instance, I was just trying to make it an in place. You can make it a loadable family. Even if in case if you have created as an in place, you can convert it as a loadable family from here as well. For example, as Istiaksar was telling, which strategy we are going to follow depends what is the scope and what is the leverage of time we are having for the project. This is what we follow in our project, and this is what our understanding is. You remember for the mesh, I suggested to make it to play it with the material and give some transparency and pattern. But if it is specifically required, it is intended to see the model, physical mesh in the model. There are ways of doing that. I will show you. But I noticed that once I do this, it actually make my model heavier. Because, for example, this one loop, I am making it as a 3D physical model. If I am going to repeat it 1,000 times, so definitely it is going to reduce the speed and increase the file size. So in that case, either we'll have to make as a separate model to link it as a mesh model or whatever we can do. But still, if it is not required to have the physical mesh in the model, it is suggested to play with the material, transparency, maybe perforations that can be achieved that we have already discussed. But if it is required to see such kind of mashing as a surface, as a physical model, I have created one family for that. That is the adaptive family, I think. Yes. You see, this is a mesh. But I found that this is actually causing my cursor to hold for a moment once I scroll it. I'll just show you in 3D and just want to orbit and show you. There's a curtain wall behind the mesh screen. Can you see the difference? I am scrolling it. It is taking a little more time than the other models. And this is a mesh. This size can be anything. It is dependent on the grid size we are opting for the mass. And how this is created? Again, I have tried to make it as lighter as possible with the help of the nested adaptive family. I have used the adaptive family, pattern family, but in that also I have tried to made it adaptive as a nested. I'll show you that example. For example, I'm just going to create another project. I'm going to make a mass. Let it be here only. I'm going to create in a new project. Oh, that's the structural template. Just close this. Okay. I'm just making one an in-place thing. We'll do it both ways. Once with the help of the material, some transparency and having some pattern to look like a mesh. The other one we can do it with the adaptive family, true adaptive physical mesh. Let us give some sample, maybe 100 mm or maybe 50 mm because it can be as thin as possible. So I'm going to assign a material. This. Turn it on. First, I will play with the material. Okay. Let's make it shaded only. Just going to create a material. Any material I can take. I can just take the metal. From here, we can take any thing. This is metal. I'm going to duplicate this along with the assets. Mesh is the name given. And to the asset, I'm going to give the same name, mesh. And then, for example, either we can take an image, we can use that image, or we can just go ahead with the let us just deal it with in graphics, not in appearance. Let's deal it with graphics. For this surface pattern, let us take this. For example, let's take this mesh, or we can create diagonal cross edge. Take this one. Okay. This is the surface pattern. And then having the transparency as maybe 60%. Just going to give it a color, some rusty color. Dark, this one. Okay. And this will be as dark as possible. Okay. The pattern is this. So here I'm going to give assign a material. Can increase the transparency.
The angle we change करना from 45 to 90.
Sorry, angle. You want to make this angle changed?
Yeah, 90 degree.
90 degree, we can have we should be anything, or we can create a new pattern.
We can increase it scale, then you will get it.
That can also be increased, yes. Let's go with this one only, just duplicate this. Mesh. And you don't want to change this, only we are increasing the scale.
Yes.
Okay, this will be our mesh. Also, actually the transparency was not changed. Somehow it is missed. Let's make it 60. So if I'm putting anything beyond this solid, I'm creating a wall. This is actually transparent, and we can play with different images also. We can play with the images. This is one thing, but this is very smooth and not harming and not increasing our file size or something like that. But in case if we want to have a physical mesh to be present here, what we need to do is we need to create a mask. Mesh. Okay, set the work plane. I'm selecting this plane only. Just creating one rectangle. This is 8 meter, and this is again 12 meter. That's okay. Let's just make it a form. Okay, can create it as a solid, so we can delete this. So this is again left is a surface that we can divide, and we can divide with a fixed distance because we don't want to have the fixed number. We can go ahead with 1 meter grid on both directions. Fixed distance again 1 meter. So now we are done with this grid distribution, and then we need to have that nodes so that we can place any family there. Now I have created one family, and that family is very basic. You guys will be able to create that family very easily because in 2 sessions we have discussed how to create the families. Let me open family. It should be there in this folder, mesh. Okay. And there was a family mesh frame. Let me just first open that mesh frame. This is a mesh frame. Yeah, this is the one. So this is not dependent of the grid size. I have just created, however, I have made this grid. I was just trying to make it to be loaded in the project itself directly. So I was just trying to make it 100 by 100 grid. But I found it that it is going to make my model much, much heavier. So try to make it a nested one. Just selected this grid. The pattern name is this one, the diagonal one, rhomboid, and then just created one loop having any circle, any whatever the profile you want to have. This you can create, right? I need not to repeat this. Or do you want me to repeat this?
No, yesterday we did.
Yeah.
Specified point.
Yeah. Once this is created,
Point.
once this is created, what I did, I made another family, a new family having the same grid composition. And that family was, this is a mesh. This was a mesh. So in that case, I think I should repeat this for you so that you will make out that how it is done. So in the earlier family, I just made a frame for the mesh. And in this, I just created a surface. And then again, as we did in the project, just distribute the surface with a grid. And then the pattern can be the default pattern. And then just opening the nodes. This mesh family was loaded. Mesh frame family was loaded here. I just went to the component and place it on the nodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is actually I'm using as a nested so that it will reduce the size of the family as up to a certain extent. So once this is placed, similarly, we can repeat it along the stretch. And then once it is done, we can directly load it into the project. The project which I have just created is project 2. Cannot load this family because the project already contains an in-place family with the same name. Mesh. Okay. Family with the same name. Let me just save it as, okay. Mesh nested family. This is done. Also, in this case, also we need not to bother about that what grid size, what pattern size we are following. Any grid size, it will be adaptive. So that we can adjust in the project with the help of the composition of the grid. So now it's
Your voice, Ashif, your voice.
Is that okay?
Now it's okay. Your mic was, I think.
Maybe it was little away. So I have renamed the family and then load it. I was just telling that in that family also the host family, which I'm using as a nested family. Again, we need not to bother about what is the grid size, the pattern size. We need not to bother about this. That we can adjust in the project itself, where we can adjust the composition of the pattern we are following. So this is what we have in the project. Now we have the nodes as well. You can just go to the component. You see that mesh nested family is there. You can simply place it on the surface with the adaptive points. You see, after the first point, it took relatively more time on the second, and then the third, and the fourth one took some more time as compared to the first point, because gradually it is increasing the file size. And then repeat it. It will be done. So this is the way. Even you can more simplify. You can reduce the grid size, or maybe you can reduce the profile which I'm using for that mesh. Maybe size of the wire, whatever you want to do. Maybe the size of the mesh you can play with. So that is something you can always play with the composition of the mesh. And then you have the with very less efforts, you have the mesh ready as a physical mesh. You can play with it. Any mass shape it can adapt. It is not just a flat surface. Any mass shape which is distributed, which is divided for the with the grids, so it can adapt the shape of the mass.
Now the efficiency of both the having it on the material and having it as a physical mass. It's not always necessary to create what is written on this. You can create the same thing, but that will be very less in weight and other things and time.
You see the scrolling.
What does a client want to see? He wants to see how my building will look. If you are giving him the same appearance and same thing, he will not go and check your paper or your model with the hand. He needs the components to look exactly how you are telling him that they will be, right? So we need to have that thought process while modeling. We don't have to be always, it's a little mesh and we have to create the mesh. See no difference, how much time it will utilize, both the things. And the effect will be the same. Okay, sorry, Kaushik, continue.
All right, sir. So, okay. So the other thing, it was about just what you were discussing about applying different materials or some shapes. We can play with the materials. We can create new materials to apply some images. Maybe for floor, I have a different kind of image. So that can be done with the help of appearance of the
I have a
material.
question.
Yeah.
I have a question. When they're
Please.
creating the materials, why will it affect the 3D guys? We have been doing it for so long. Why the 3D guys are telling them that we are not getting the right texture or the shape?
That is something 3D person can only respond. I don't know why. In the previous session, sir, you were not there in this meeting when you were traveling, and I was discussing all these questions with the team. I suggested them not to create such kind of things. They were asking that rendering people were asking to create some this kind of the things. However,
It's a texture.
However, this can be made in Revit. I cannot say that this cannot be done. It can be made. But what is the fun of making such finishes?
One full night we are saying for this one.
So that is what my this one also I have taken as a point of explanation to be demonstrated. I believe every one of you must be knowing that how to apply one picture, one image, because I have downloaded a few seamless images. Uh, you can download any image, and then, for example, I have downloaded 2-3 images. This one also I have taken. This one also I have cropped it from your PDF, but this is not actually seamless because this is having different shadings on top and the bottom. So once it is joined there, it will give you a tiling effect. So that is not going to work. We need to have a seamless image like this. Like this. This is a seamless image. You can download it from the Google.
What is the meaning of seamless image?
There is no shade and shadow.
Yeah, you just go there in the Google, you just type seamless texture. So it will give you the images, and those are the textures you can use for the rendering. So those are having the different. This is actually converter. I do not want to have the converter. These are the different images having a uniform shading all around, because this piece is going to join here. So this should not have the different shading. This is what is seamless mean. So this kind of images can be either we do something with this image in Photoshop. If we can make it a seamless, same glow which is on the top should be all through across the image. It should be a uniform.
It can be in any format. I mean JPEG or it is.
Only JPEG, PNG, whatever you want, you can create. Because these seamless images also just JPEG. There's nothing different. But the texture is something about the uniformity of the shading across the image. This is what is called as seamless. So once you have that image, because if you see in any material, if we create a material, in the material asset, we have got a images texture folder as well, right? For example, just take any one of them, maybe for this one, right? If you go to the appearance, this has got an image. You can see this is an image and this is .png. Can you see the name here? Brick non-uniform running burgundy PNG. If you click on this hyperlink, it will take you to the folder which is mats and which is there in your library. It gets downloaded on your program file C drive. So all these images are actually the seamless images and these are PNG. So any one of these image you can use and play with the material. Maybe this image is similar to what we are looking for. So you can either you find any image which is matching your requirement, or you just take any image, download it and put it on your folder. You can browse that image and just select that. You can
Do we
create.
need to put this image? Do we need to put this image in that folder, or can we place it anywhere out?
Not necessarily. That's a very good question, but I will tell you what is the logic actually. You are not supposed to put it in the right folder. You can put it anywhere and load it in your model, right? But the problem begins when if you have done it with an image which is on your C drive or maybe some on your desktop, you have done this model. It will look fine unless that image is there on your desktop. As if you share this model to me, I will open it here. It will be a blank or black surface to me. It will not be visible. This image will not be visible to me. Why? Because all the images are actually reading from that mat folder, which is the software default folder. So if you want any provision that whatever, maybe 5, 6, or maybe 8, 10 images you have selected for a specific project, you just name them differently and put it in the right folder along with the
Right folder
model.
means
Right folder, the default
the
folder. Library folder.
default folder, no? That
Lib-
mat library.
Yeah,
Okay.
that library folder, because that remains same for every user. That
Okay.
is why I'm telling you, because it reads the whole path from the directory and the drive and then the folder, then the subfolder. It reads the whole path, full path, not the relative one.
Okay.
You just put it there, and then also you share that those images to the person which you are sending your model and ask them to keep those images in that folder only. Then only they will be able to see that. You can do this exercise in your system. You apply 2, 3 images, keep them on your desktop, and then ask anybody to open that model on the network. They won't be able to see that image. But if you ask them to put those images at the specific folder, and if both of you are having the same images in your folder, you will be able to see that. That's the key. So once the images are applied, you can play with it. You can increase or decrease the size of the tile. You can increase the scale of the image in the image editor only. There are many things which are actually not related to the BIM things. However, there are things you can do. Let me just give you one example. For example, this. So in the hyperlink, if you click, it will take you to the folder. However, if you click on this image itself, it will take you the image editor, texture editor, where you can either invert the image, you can increase or decrease the transparency, link the texture transformation, the position. Actually, because we are using it as a tile, horizontal and vertical tile. For example, if I'm making it none horizontally, so how it is going to impact on the material. Let me just show you in a wall. I will just create a wall. This is having the same material. I'll show you in the texture editor that how it is going to impact. Here, I don't want to tile it vertically as well. So this image is having certain size. This is a different material. Brick common. Yeah, this is a different material. This is having tiles. if I remove this tile from the horizontal patterns, so it should impact the 3D, the appearance. You see, it's blank. So this is how it will look if the image is not there. However, I have not removed the image, but I have excluded the horizontal repetition. You see, vertical repetition is there because once the image, it can be of any size of the image, maybe this size, but vertically it is repeating as a tile. Horizontally, it is not repeating. Other ways you can reverse this process. You have to edit this material only because maybe there is some difference in the material. Yeah, I just go to this image editor again. I will reverse this to make it none as vertical. Vertical, it is not going to repeat. Horizontally, it will repeat as a tile. So now what it will do, you can see in the horizontal strip, it is repeating the material as a tile and it is not showing you the join. Actually, if you zoom it, you will be able to see somewhere here it is a joining line because you can see, you can figure out that, okay.
But that's as good as a mortar joint.
Exactly. So that is why these images are basically made purposely seamless images. If it would have been, if it would have been, let me show you one difference there. If I replace that brick common image with this image, the image which you have with you, for example, I don't have this image. This is not a seamless image. So if I would have done it, yeah. Horizontally it is repeating. So I'm going to replace this image, just clicking this hyperlink and then placing my folder instead of this. I'm using this image. So this will actually show the tiling line. You can see the tiling line because of that shading. This is little darker on the left side, on the brighter on the right side. And similarly, if I repeat this to the vertical repetition, vertical tiling, it will be more visible.
Tiling.
Yeah, the tiling will be more visible. Can you see it?
Great.
However, it was not visible with the pretty common texture, which was actually a seamless. If I would have, I would have replaced it with the other texture, which is seamless. This is the seamless image. So it would not show us those tiling lines because of the seamless shading. Can you make out the tiling line? No.
The difference between seamless and.
So this
How
is
to
something.
make a normal image
Can convert to
seamless?
Yeah, there is
Generate an image.
there are online converters, but I am not very handy on that, so I cannot recommend that. However, Photoshop can do this kind of magic. Maybe in image, yeah, maybe in the image editor only, Microsoft Image Editor. Also, you can play with the toning of this image if you edit and see, do some experiments to increase the tone and warmth and some other things that maybe you can play with. Maybe brightness, exposure, contrast. This thing, if you keep on changing, you see something is that working for you. I'm not very handy with this. Maybe it's like this. For example, if it is going to make you a good texture, but maybe this is working for you. So this is something you can do. The sharpness you can increase or decrease. But this can be
Shadow you need to decrease, shadows.
Shadows we need to decrease. Okay. Maybe to the minimum. Or else you can crop it little from the top and the bottom to make a proper join, because you have to make sure that it is ending here. So it needs a small portion of this pattern on the top. It is not there in this line only. This image has to be a continuous repetition. This need to follow that. So that is something you need to take care about. For example, I'm going to save this with some changes and then crop it a little bit. vertically, because this is a darker strip at the bottom. So
ये y के half पे रख, y के half पे नीचे और थोड़ा नीचे, slide down slightly, ऊपर center में रखना है इस line vertical line के center, और ऊपर भी उधर ही रख, exactly center, हाँ, top पे भी उधर center, हाँ तो ऊपर, हाँ.
on right and left it is okay, or you want to change this as well?
Yeah, it's not correct. Yes, half, yes. Half
Okay.
at the center. Yeah, there is a shadow. Right.
Yeah, again there's a shadow at the bottom, but still this is what you can do. You can do some changes with the image and then see the difference.
Image is taken with the light from the top.
Yeah. So if I go again to the material and then try to change this image from the editor. Not from here, I'll just copy the path. Let's take the texture once again and then see what is the texture editor saying. Tile, it's okay. Oh, this is something else I'm seeing here. That image is, that wall is deleted. Still the tiling line is there, but that is because of the texture we have. If it would have been a proper image with a proper shading all around.
And there's also the reason for that, Kashif. The tile is not flat.
Yeah.
That's why it's huge shade on the sides. It's not a flat one.
Right. So actually, this is how we can play with different images, and also we can play with the transparency to see the perforations. So this is recommended things for BIM model, just to have the geometry, as well as you can have the texture and the realistic ways of doing the any specific material. As far as the rendering is concerned, as you have rightly mentioned, Revit is not meant for those visualization thing. However, it is embedded. You can use Enscape as a rendering engine. You can use different V-Ray and other things. Lumions also you can integrate with Revit. But that is a different aspect of this BIM. I don't think this belongs to BIM in any ways. But okay. So this is what I had for the day. 3, 4 things and 5 things. If you ask me, Ishtiaq sir, I'll go through the questions one by one and then see what has been done and what has been explained earlier.
So any questions or okay with everything?
Yes.
Thank you everyone. It was a nice time with you, with your team.
Yeah, it is a very good session. We all learned many things. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you once we come back. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.